What's up, guys? This is Michael with Michael Talks Metal, back for another talk on some metal. Before we jump in, do me a favor, please. Click that little subscribe button, little MMI button right there. Just right there. Just click it. So, let's jump in. Over the last several weeks, we have been talking about special types of alloy steels. Today's video will explain what it means when an alloy steel, like 8620, 4140, or 4340, have an H suffix added and becomes 8620H, 4140H, 4340H. First, we need just a bit of background stuff. Alloy steels like these develop their best properties after heat treatment. How do we compare alloys and know what to expect after heat treatment? Alloys are very different from each other. Even variations within the allowable chemistry limits of an alloy can affect the hardness profile that can be achieved. Metallurgists had to develop means of evaluating the hardenability to be able to compare the response of a given alloy chemistry to heat treatment. One method, the end quench or Jominy end quench hardenability test, originally used a sample of the material about 1 inch in diameter and about 4 inches long. It was hardened by heating to a standard temperature and then quenched from one end of the cylinder, and the sample was then hardness tested at increments of 1/16 of an inch along the length of the cylinder, starting at the end that was quenched. Results are expressed as a Rockwell C scale hardness at a distance from the quenched end. For example, J1 equals 40 is a Rockwell hardness of 40, 1/16 from the quenched end, and J8 equals 30 is 30 RC at 8/16 from the quenched end. Today, the hardness profile can be accurately determined by computer from the very precise chemical composition of modern steelmaking procedures. H steels establish standards for the hardness profile of the steel that then assures a more consistent and repeatable response to heat treating process from batch to batch of an alloy. Depending on the alloy, each 16th inch position may have a minimum hardness or maximum hardness, or both a minimum and maximum hardness requirement. When even more restrictive requirements are put into place, there are also standards for restricted hardenability alloys with an RH suffix added to the standard steel designation. Imagine an automotive company producing many thousands of the same part. They want the same results from batch to batch without changing their heat treating process. Chemical composition is permitted more variation in a standard H steel as long as the hardenability band limits are met. H-band steels do not necessarily meet the chemistry requirements of the regular grade, and the regular grade end quench profile may not meet the H-band requirements. ASTM A304 is the standard for H and RH alloy steels. ASTM A255 is the end quench procedure standard. End quench hardenability restrictions often appear in other specifications as well. And we always caution you to check the specs. And so thank you for tuning in. That's going to wrap us up for today. And if you've made it this far, thank you even more. And if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor. Click that little button right here. Help me out, help the channel out. If you've missed any previous videos, whoop, there they are. Can't miss them now. So this is Michael with Michael Talks Metal. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. This is Michael, and I'm out.